and do this in remembrance of me. Won't you take this bread and eat it because it is my body. Come on, y'all. I gotta go be with my father. Yeah, nah. Come on, her. This is my body. So guess what, y'all? It's early afternoon, early noon, before noon. Actually, it's not even afternoon yet. And this is your girl, Sis-Lo, and this is another newsworthy update. Thanks for tuning in. Just dropping in for a couple of minutes. I gotta plan, not really plans, but I got a little something to do. So I'm only dropping in for a couple of minutes this time, and I want to holler at y'all about some of the current events that's going on here and out here in this YouTube land. So it's like, this is going to be one of those broadcasts where you go hear a little bit of everything, including the dogs in the background. Yeah, it's that type of party. I do apologize, but maybe it'll be a little better. Give me 30. All right, so they gave me a couple seconds to try to get it quiet, but who's to know what's going to happen in the next 30 seconds? So, yeah, what had happened was the night before inauguration, went all through the White House, only the orange heads were stirring him and his church mouse. And they decided to free a few people from jail, and let's just hope they don't land up in hell. Yep, that's my poem. I did it all by myself. So word on the street is Detroit former mayor Kwame M. Kilpatrick is at home chilling right about now down in Atlanta with his mom and pops and his boys and all his family, and they're welcoming him on. I'm sure they are practicing social distancing, wearing masks, gloves, sanitizing, and he's about to pick up some of that prison weight that he lost. And he probably eat some collard greens and some yams and making up for all those 8 birthdays, those 8 Thanksgivings, those 8 Easter dinners, those 8 Mother's and Father's Days, and those 8 Christmases, and those 8 New Year's, and the 8 Martin Luther King birthdays, and those 2 inaugurations that he probably missed. But now he's home with his family, okay? But a lot of people not happy about that. A lot of people are not happy that Kwame is at home chilling with his family. They got a lot of negative to say. They got some people like it, some people don't. Well, who is to really judge the situation? Well, his constituents, the people that voted for him, the people that were feeling that they were wrong or were proven to be wronged by him. But personally, I understand both sides. But I do feel that 28 years was a little too much without the possibility of parole. 28 years. So, had he stayed, he would have been 70 years old by the time he came home. 70, 71. You know, his kids would have gone through their entire life. He would have became a grandfather and everything while he was incarcerated. And I do understand that when you do the crime, then you got to pay the time. But at the same time, I also feel that 28 years was something that was personally inflicted. Honestly, 8 years is enough to me. He's done 8 years. Let the man come on out and see if he is, gain some knowledge and some understanding and can get a new lease on life and take advantage of it and build on it. Then he's a bright young man. He's very intelligent. He's very intelligent. Let's just hope that he can take this new lease on life and build something positive of it. Hey, sweetie, how are you, BBK? Good to see you. You know I love you on purpose, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And we're talking about former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick being released from prison after 8 years yesterday. And his sentence was commuted. So instead of serving 28 years, he served and completed 8 years of his prison term. And a lot of people are not happy about that. So they are saying that, he got off easy with the 8 years. He should have stayed in prison for the full 28 years. And this was a nonviolent crime. Okay. He pretty much went to prison for greasing palms and taking bribes, that type of thing. Yeah, Cheeto had released 148 people, I believe it was. But each of them had to have a sponsor. Allegedly. They had to have a sponsor. And that sponsor had to come with at least a $2 million encouragement fee. Allegedly. So we know Lil Wayne had that money. We know that Kodak Black had that money. We know that the people that Kwame Kilpatrick is affiliated with are billionaires. So they definitely had that. And to be perfectly honest, he is worth more outside than he is on the inside because he is very intelligent. Now, his sentence was commuted and not pardoned. Like I apologize for the puppy in the background. She's craving attention, but yeah. But his sentence was not pardoned. It was commuted. So he is still a felon, and there are still conditions attached to his freedom. He still has to pay the restitutions. He still has to pay the fees. He still has to pay the lawsuits that was judged against him on whistleblowers and various contracts and different things like that. So he's probably about $11 million in debt. And he still has to pay that. Now, I don't know if he qualifies to file bankruptcy on any of that type of thing. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that his sponsor or sponsors have plans for him to get financially reestablished. And he has a lot of support of people on the outside who is willing to throw him the tools and fuse from the outside. So that part we won't even be concerned about. But in the other, there are a lot of people who are still bothered by the fact that he is freed after again palm greasing, contract fixing, and that type of thing. And I just think that 28 years without the possibility of parole is more than some people that I know are guilty of multiple murders, multiple murders, and have gotten out. The people that have been driving drunk and killed entire families, and they got out in 2 years. And things like that. I mean, people, I mean, now that's a conscious decision for you to get behind the wheel and to drive intoxicated, knowing that, you've been drinking, period, and to kill an entire family and to serve 2 years and get out and then have to go uh and go to maybe an AA class or something like that, but you have an opportunity to reestablish your life. Now, I'm not saying that this man did not do wrong, because wrong is wrong, and he did do wrong, but I think 8 years was enough for him to be rehabilitated and to do, because this is what prison is supposed to be about. It's not just a consequence, but a chance for you to be rehabilitated, or so I'm told. So, I think that the time that he's done absolutely should be equivalent to time served. That's the way I feel. Who am I? You know, you have some of his uh, the other people that were on the pardon list were completely exonerated, and they did just as much, the same, or even more than what he has been convicted of doing. And they are completely pardoned, meaning they are totally exonerated. There are no more attachments of that crime to their lives, but he is still a felon. He's still a felon. So he can still not run for any office, any public seat or office in the state of Michigan. But who's to say that he can't go down in Atlanta and give Keisha Lance Bottoms, I'm sorry, uh, a run for her money? Who's to say? Because he's a very charming guy. But to be perfectly honest, and you have to look on the other side and say, who gonna give a pencil pushing, grease palming, convicted felon an opportunity? Well, they let Angela Stanton run for public office, and she's a boot kisser for Mr. Cheeto Head. She's a boot kisser, and her only, well, her thing, other than she also was pardoned by Mr. Cheeto Head himself. She was also pardoned by him. So she says that, her thing is, the reason why she supports him is not only because he supports Black people that were convicted of crimes that should not have been equivalent to the time that they were given, but she also says because he is a pro-life supporter of pro-life. Let me tell y'all something. Once again, I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. Hear me and hear me clearly. Let me get closer to this mic here. Hear me and hear me clearly. Just because you are anti-abortion does not mean that you are pro-life. Give me a second. I'm gonna give you a second to soak that in while I take a drink, a sip. Get yourself down, Lord, and give me a second to kill the cat. Okay. When I say that just because you are anti-abortion does not mean that you're pro-life, I know for the intelligent people in the room, you know exactly what I mean. When I say that just because you are anti-abortion does not mean that you are pro-life, I mean what I say. Because Trump is definitely not pro-life. If so, a lot of our sisters and brothers would not have to clean the blood of their loved ones in the street. Lives that were taken unjustly. If not, he would not send his militia to attack the Capitol, to attempt to take the lives of those who he claimed committed treason against him and the country. So he is not pro-life. Pro-life is pro-life, for life. And Trump is definitely not for life. Trump is for self, as is Miss Angela Staten. Now, you know, Miss Angela Staten is also tied to Mr. Apollo and Miss Phaedra Parks. And she wrote the book on how she was the fall guy for Apollo and his crimes. And Phaedra Parks said, yeah, she wrote that book. So everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. Now, the fact about it is, what agenda is more acceptable to your public, to your targeted population? Who's going to agree with it and who's going to support that agenda? That's how that goes. That's exactly how it goes. So the people that are for Kwame, like I said before, if you support him, put some money in his pocket, because according to him, he's broke. And he just got a free from 8 years of prison. He got 11-year bounty over his head. Not bounty, but you know, he got a bill. So if you support him, support him. But if you're in this cheering section, just cheer him on and pray for him and send him on his way. But stop saying who you support. And then you turn around and the person needs you to lend them a help hand or pull them up out the dirt, and you turn your back on them. That's not support. That's you just in the chair and say, I wish you well. I wish. You know, we had a lot of so-called wishers or well wishers, dead wishers, kick dirt on you wishers, spit on you wishers. You know, we have a lot of wishers. Some people call them haters, but hate me or love me. If you say you support me, that cash app gonna be ringing. I'm just saying that's how that goes. But for the people that don't support Mr. Kwame Kilpatrick and his freedom, they have whatever they see to be a validated reason why they don't support his freedom. Now we're going to bring, hopefully I can line my guest up for this afternoon and we can bring her on and Maybe she can talk about it with me a little bit more. And we got certain people on uh social media this morning breaking different inauguration parts of the inauguration, and how it, the secret meaning to it, and I these conspiracies, some of them are like, I don't know. You got to remember, a person's conspiracy is basically that person's perception of a thing. That makes it make it fact. Some of these people have gotten into debating in college, and they have become professional debaters or theorists, so to speak. So it doesn't mean it's proven by any scientific mean or factual mean. It just means that they can talk well enough to convince you that what they're meaning means something. So, hey, there it goes. Well, again, I wish Mr. Kilpatrick well. I hope he takes advantage of his freedom, do the right thing, make good decisions, build up on the foundation that he has. He's a very intelligent man, very insightful. He did do a lot, from my perspective, for the city of Detroit. I lived in Detroit his entire reign as mayor. And if you go through a lot of the improvements that were made downtown and all around the city was actually looking a lot better when he was in office. I'm just saying. They can say what they want, but the city was looking a lot better. The morale of the people was a lot better. The young people, because he was one of them at the time. So a lot of this generation grew up with him and came up with him and was influenced by him. The Motor City Makeover, I mean, they were getting out with him. He was getting out with them, cleaning up different areas of the city. If he called on his people, he put out the music. He did the little barbecuing. He provided the T-shirts and the bags, and people came out in, like, there was not a neighborhood that you would see in the city of Detroit that was not participating in that Motor City Makeover. They were all involved. The Angels Night campaign. There were people coming out. You would see lights all over the city. The trash pickup improved. The streets became salted and plowed, and I mean, he did do it quite a bit. He brought the Super Bowl to the city. There was a lot that was going on that beautified and brought up the morale of the city. People are going to say something about everybody. You can't please them all. There are going to be some people that are right, and there's going to be some people that are wrong and have been wronged from every perspective. I don't care who it is. Not to say, now I'm not saying that he was all right, because we know obviously he did wrong. He cheated on his wife. He admitted to that. That was very unfortunate. He was a ladies' man. I've seen him myself. I met him a few times. Very charismatic guy, very, very soft spoken, and very personable. He was like, the kids didn't call him Mayor Kilpatrick. They called him Kwame. And When they would see him out, they would run and grab and hug him, and he wouldn't stop them. He would let them come and hug on them, and he'll try to hug all of them. I've seen all of it in action. There he brought a lot of things. We had a huge, successful citywide health fair at Ford Field one day, and our job participated. And there were vendors all over. They provided free medical services, massages. They gave away items. He even came and walked through, and the young ladies, I can't think of the group, but the group was targeted on the full fabulous young ladies. They came out and they saw him, Kwame, and they ran up hugging him, and he took pictures with them all, and he didn't rush them along. And even as he was getting in his black Escalade to drive away, people were still pulling him over. He tried to make every meeting, every appearance. He supported the teen hype of St. John Hospital, and they were like everywhere he was, pretty much they performed right there with him or for him. So they gave a lot. He gave a lot. And he did a lot of good. So he does have a good side to him. But at the same time, there were some unfortunate incidents that landed him in prison. And I believe his time was served. So let's see him get up and pull up his bootstraps and spend the rest of his time he has with his family and making good of all this. Good morning, sister. How are you, Tanya? The Hood Table. Thank you for dropping in this morning. I'm about to bring this one to a close, sister, and I'll be back a little bit later this afternoon. I'm going to send you that link. Maybe if you're on lunch or something, you can jump in with us, but it'll be a little bit later on. I got a quick run to make, and then I'll be back at it again. But I just wanted to drop in and say, hey, love on my people. Talk to you all for a hot second. I can't wait to get my inauguration t-shirt because I'm going to do my little pearls and twirls and whatever they call them. I'll be late, but better late than never. Do my own thing. You heard me? We're going to be celebrating this inauguration the first entire year. Okay? So, hey, that is. Well, I love you guys on purpose. There's nothing you can do about it. I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining your girl, Sis-Lo, with another newsworthy update. We never say goodbye because the goodbye is so permanent. So I'll just say later for now. I love you on purpose, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Later for now.